Welcome back to StogieShane's review page. Today I'm reviewing the Alec Bradley Swag South Beach. This was blended by the folks at Boutique Blends, the same company that did the Aging Room cigars. They've done quite a few good blends, so I'm excited to try this one as well. I also love Alec Bradley cigars anyways. Visibly, the cigar is dark caramel, like a dark leather saddle, like a leather saddle with a lot of patina. It has dark chocolate colors and light chocolate colors throughout, so it's not a consistent color all the way through. It has lots and lots of tiny veins that run throughout the cigar, but they're not so small as to leave it feeling smooth. The surface feels a little bit bumpy as you run along it. It's slightly oily, like I said, and it smells really sweet but like wood, so it smells a lot like cedar. It's a Dominican puro, but it's cited as not tasting like a smooth Dominican, so we'll see where that goes. This particular version is the 6x60. It's also known as the Ego Vitola by them. So I'll get it started and we'll come back in a moment. To describe the first inch of the cigar, I should start by telling you about the initial light, because this one's very notable above most cigars. The initial light of the cigar is very peppery, so right from the start you know, wait a minute, it's not a very medium-bodied cigar. It's going to be medium to full or even full. The first inch is burning with a lot of sweetness, but still a lot of hardwood flavor. Tastes a lot like the cedar that we smelled at pre-light. It's very peppery, but it's not a black pepper. It tastes a little more like white pepper, and I think that's on account of the chalkiness that this cigar's got. It's got a very heady, chalky sensation on your palate. It's not a very wet or lubricated cigar on your palate like some have. It's more of a dry sensation on your palate. It's carried throughout your mouth, not by the lubrication or the moistness that it provides in your mouth, but I think from the abundant smoke that the cigar produces. It's tasting great, and so far the construction's well. It's a little bit flaky. And there's a couple of spots that look like they could use some touch-up, but I'm sure you can see that they're toasting pretty well from the inside, so chances are, if I don't touch it up, it'll probably catch up on its own very well. I'll be back in a few and describe the first third. I've approached the end of the first third on the South Beach. As you can see, the construction, I don't want to call them problems, but the construction imperfections or lighting imperfections here and opposite have caused this cigar almost to stop burning the wrapper altogether. You can see a little bit of wrinkling here where the ash is trying to, or the cherry's trying to run inside the cigar, so I'm going to have to correct that. I was hoping it'd correct itself, but it's not doing that. The spiciness at the beginning has waned away a little bit. It's actually gotten a little bit weaker, and it's gotten a lot more nutty. It's still very sweet and woody, so that cedar is definitely hanging in there. But the nuttiness is starting to come out a little bit, that, you know, as I get a little bit deeper in. The Ligero is still pretty strong. Some of that taste and that strength may be coming from the way that it's burning, and now the wrapper is not keeping up. At the end of the second third, as you can see, it's burning okay. I did have to take a razor knife to the cigar and cut through the ash. That's the aftermath of the surgery. It touched up nicely, considering. I didn't waste much of the cigar. You can see that the cherry had tunneled its way into the wrapper, and a little bit of cut through at the end did an okay job. The second third, flavor and strength, is almost identical to the first third. The nuttiness has faded away again, and a little bit of fruitiness remains. It's still got that sweet hardwood flavor, tastes a lot like cedar, and the spiciness is definitely back, setting you up for a pretty strong finish. For a 6x60, the draw is pretty loose, so as a result, it's a kind of a quick burning cigar. So that more mild, nutty period is only about 10 minutes in that first third, between the first third and the second third, and then it absolutely goes away and gets back powerful again. I'll be back and let you know how the last third ends up and how it finishes. The South Beach is probably the strongest Dominican puro I've ever smoked. Um, the complexity doesn't come much from fruit and from berries, but there is a little bit of grapefruit in the middle of the cigar if you look for it. But it goes away very quickly, and it's hard to find. It's right at the end of the finish if you wait a few minutes between draws. It did have a little bit of construction issue that was overcome by cutting and relighting, but for the most part it's been okay as long as you keep a lighter at the ready to touch it up. I definitely recommend a meal beforehand, and maybe even a good hearty drink to go with it. It's not for the faint of heart at all, but it's been very good nonetheless. Try one, see what you think. Just be prepared for the strength and the power that comes with it.